We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. President Murmu to arrive in Romania today on final leg of three-nation tour to hold talks with Romanian leadership on issues of mutual interest. US signs landmark nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia to enhance cooperation on the peaceful use of nuclear energy. Agreement includes nuclear security, safety and non-proliferation. US military launches 12th consecutive night of strikes on Iran. Iran threatens strong retaliation as Trump warns of attacks on bridges and power plants. Oil prices continue to surge. Flood situation worsens in India's northeastern state of Assam. 10 more deaths reported in last 24 hours, taking toll to 40. More rains forecast over the next 3 days. And 2026 Commonwealth Games to kick off in Glasgow today. 74 nations to participate in the multi-sport event. High hopes from star-studded Indian squad of 126 athletes. And on to the details now. President Murmu will reach Romania today on the final leg of a European tour after visiting Moldova and North Macedonia. Amid India's growing diplomatic engagement with Europe, this will be the first visit by an Indian president to Romania in more than 3 decades. Romania is a valuable partner in the European Union. With the conclusion of the India-EU Free Trade Agreement, bilateral economic partnership would strengthen further in the coming years. DD India's Sumesh Patel reports for more from Bucharest.
India and Romania share a relationship built not only on diplomatic ties, but also on decades of trust, friendship and cooperation. As the global landscape evolves, both the countries are working to expand their partnership across several strategic sectors. Against this backdrop, President Draupadi Murmu's state visit to Romania is being seen as highly significant. During her visit, the President will be holding a courtesy meeting and bilateral talks with Romanian President Nicolae Dan. The discussions are expected to focus on expanding trade and investment, information technology, education, energy, defense cooperation, digital innovation, skill development, and people-to-people exchanges. The two leaders are also expected to exchange views on key regional and global issues. Members of the Indian community in Bucharest are excited to welcome the President.
Many of the industries which are already very strong in Romania, they want to develop with the Indian companies to make the business larger and volume of trade much bigger than between us.
Our President's visit is a new beginning for the relation between India and Romania. Both the countries are looking forward to a very bright future, and this visit will strengthen it.
It's a great news that the Indian President is visiting Romania after 13 years to build on the existing good relationship that India already has with Romania. Wishing her all the best for a great visit.
During the visit, President Murmu will also address the Indian-Romania Business Forum, where business leaders from both the countries will explore new investments and trade opportunities. The forum is expected to give fresh momentum to bilateral economic cooperation. The President will also interact with members of the Indian community in Romania. The engagement is expected to further strengthen cultural ties and reinforce the people-to-people relationship between the two countries. At a time when India's partnership with Europe continues to deepen, President Murmu's visit is being viewed as the beginning of a new chapter in India-Romania relations. The visit is expected to further reinforce the shared commitment of both the countries towards trust, cooperation and inclusive growth.
After more than 13 years in Indian President in visiting Romania, President Draupadi Murmu's state visit marks a new chapter in India-Romania relation, with focus on trade, investment, education, technology and defense cooperation. With camera person Vardhan, I am Dr. Sumesh Patel, DD India, Romania.
Well, on the last day of a state visit to North Macedonia, President Draupadi Murmu unveiled a bust of Mahatma Gandhi at the Museum of the city of Skopje on Wednesday. The president told a gathering that Mahatma Gandhi belonged to India, but his message of truth and non-violence belongs to all of humanity. DD India's Aditya Srivastav reports for more from Skopje.
President Draupadi Murmu and President Gordana Silyanovska-Davkova of North Macedonia unveiled a bust of Mahatma Gandhi at the Skopje Museum on Wednesday. The president expressed confidence that the bust will stand as a lasting symbol of friendship between India and North Macedonia and of the common commitment of both countries to peace, tolerance and humanity. Addressing the gathering, President Murmu expressed confidence that the bust will stand as a lasting symbol of friendship between India and North Macedonia and of the common commitment of both countries to peace, tolerance and humanity.
Mahatma Gandhi belongs to India, but his message belongs to all humanity. His life demonstrated that truth and non-violence are not signs of weakness, but powerful instruments for securing justice, dignity, and freedom. This bust will stand as a lasting symbol of the friendship between the India and North Macedonia and of our common commitment to peace, tolerance, and humanity. I am confident that our cultural and people-to-people ties will continue to deepen in the years ahead.
In her address, the North Macedonian president said that the most important part of Mahatma Gandhi's legacy is his philosophy of non-violence.
The most important Gandhian legacy is the idea of non-violent self-determination as the right of a people to decide on their destiny and future, but also the freedom to organize their lives in accordance with their own will. This desire for freedom was a centuries-old ideal of the Indian, but also of the Macedonian people.
President Murmu also thanked the government of North Macedonia and the Museum of the city of Skopje for making the event possible. On behalf of the people of India, the president expressed appreciation to everyone who contributed to the tribute and said the occasion would further strengthen mutual understanding, cooperation and friendship between the two countries, while keeping Mahatma Gandhi's ideals alive. Earlier, President Murmu, along with President Gordana Silyanovska-Davkova, visited the memorial of Mother Teresa in Skopje. Mother Teresa was born in Skopje, where she lived until 1928.
The statue of Gandhi unveiled by the President of India in Skopje will not only reflect the relations between the two nations, but also strengthening the trust and morality between in the future. With camera person S. Jaishankar, DD India, Skopje.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday chaired a high-level meeting with secretaries to review progress of rural development, agriculture, social welfare and allied sectors towards Viksit Bharat goals at his residence in New Delhi. Prime Minister said that reforms designed around people's needs should gather real momentum and deliver meaningful transformation. Prime Minister also emphasized that the objective of reforms is not merely to improve the functioning of the government, but to accelerate India's journey towards becoming a developed nation. Prime Minister suggested undertaking a comprehensive mapping of emerging requirements across various ministries and departments, stressing the need for a whole-of-government approach to achieve the nation's development goals. Also, Prime Minister Modi further emphasized that the dream to build a Viksit Bharat should become a Jan Andolan and that India's youth should form the foundation of this vision. Prime Minister further emphasized the need to adopt an integrated approach for the development of sports as well. The meeting was marked by comprehensive and productive discussions across the sectors, focusing on effective implementation, greater convergence and accelerated progress towards the goals of Viksit Bharat. Well, moving on, the 3 days of monsoon session of Parliament witnessed continuous uproar and adjournments. High hopes that today's session would also not be washed out. Here's more in this report.
Both the lower house and upper house witnessed repeated adjournment due to ongoing protest and sloganeering. Lok Sabha saw repeated disruptions. When the House met after the second adjournment at 2 p.m., the opposition again started sloganeering over the NEET issue. Amid uproar, the reports of the Standing Committee on Coal, Mines and Steel was presented in the House. Besides, the House passed a resolution to suspend Trinamool Congress MP Kalyan Banerjee for the rest of the monsoon session for using inappropriate language against women MPs.
श्री कल्याण बनर्जी का इस सभा के सदस्य का सत्र की शेष अवधि के लिए सभा की सेवा में निलंबित किया जाए.
Earlier, when the Lok Sabha assembled for the day at 11 a.m., Speaker Om Birla tried to take up the question hour, but the opposition member raised the issue of paper leak and student protest. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju said the government is fully prepared for a discussion on the NEET paper leak issue.
कि चर्चा कब होना है, चर्चा का ड्यूरेशन कितना लंबा चर्चा होना है और किस नियम के तहत होना है. माननीय स्पीकर महोदय, सारे पार्टी के फ्लोर लीडर से बातचीत करके इसका निर्णय किया जाए. सरकार पूरी तरह से नीट पेपर लीक पे चर्चा करने के तैयार है और इस देश के युवाओं का भविष्य के लिए हम सब मिलकर के एक सार्थक चर्चा हो, ये सरकार चाहती है.
Congress leader K.C. Venugopalan and Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav raised the issue of student protest. Scenes were no different in the upper house, the Rajya Sabha. The opposition continued raising slogans over the NEET issue. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju said that the government has been ready for discussion from day one. Leader of the House in Rajya Sabha, J.P. Nadda, termed opposition's conduct as highly irresponsible and against democratic values.
सरकार हर मुद्दे पर चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार है और इसके साथ साथ नीट में पेपर लीक और उससे निकलने वाली सारी गतिविधियों पर भी हमारी सरकार चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार है.
Amid uproar by opposition, the upper house was adjourned till Thursday.
The India Bloc MPs held a protest right here at the Makar Dwar even before the proceedings had started. Though the government has made it very clear that it is ready to discuss the NEET paper leak issue in both houses of the parliament, but the opposition refuses to relent. With cameraman Naveen from Parliament House in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristu for DD India.
Well, the central government is closely monitoring the NEET paper leak controversy and the ongoing student protest. Union Minister and BJP leader J.P. Nadda said on Wednesday that the government is prepared to discuss the issue in Parliament, stressing that the matter requires a thorough investigation. Union Minister Nadda urged the opposition not to politicize the issue or seek political gains from students concerned, calling for a serious and detailed discussion to address the problem.
स्टूडेंट्स की डिमांड है, जिस विषय पर उन्होंने मुद्दे उठाए हैं पेपर लीक का, सबसे पहले तो मेरा आग्रह है कि हमें इसका राजनीतिकरण नहीं करना चाहिए और इसमें से राजनीतिक लाभ लेना उचित नहीं है. यह एक गहन समस्या है और इस समस्या का गहनता के साथ चर्चा होने की आवश्यकता रहती है.
And on to some flood updates now. The northeastern state of Assam continues to reel under the flood waters, with more than 8 lakh people and claimed at least 40 human lives in less than a month. The Indian Army has intensified flood relief and humanitarian assistance operations in the flood-affected districts under Operation Jal Rahat, working in close coordination with the Assam State Administration and other civil agencies. Meanwhile, the Indian Meteorological Department predicted moderate to heavy rainfall along with thunderstorms at isolated places in Guwahati and other districts across Assam in the coming days. And some update on tunnel collapse in Sikkim now. Search and rescue operation continues at NHPC tunnel collapse site in Namchi. Last night, a second rescue team from Eastern Coalfields Limited, Assam, arrived at the incident site and immediately joined the ongoing operation. According to the latest update, the bodies of 22 deceased individuals have been recovered so far from the tunnel. Rescue operations remain in progress, with specialized teams working in close coordination to locate and recover the remaining trapped people. The Sikkim government, district administration and all concerned agencies continue to closely monitor the situation while extending every possible support to the rescue teams and the affected families. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Wildfires ravage southern Europe as extreme heat scorches Spain, France, Italy and beyond. India to begin Zimbabwe T20 International Series in Harare, eye revenge for 2024 defeat. And National Broadcasting Day today, celebrating radio's enduring voice that connects India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lepakshi Kuran, and moving on, the US and Saudi Arabia have signed a landmark deal that will reportedly allow the Gulf Kingdom to develop a civilian nuclear program. US Secretary of Energy Chris Wright and his counterpart Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman signed the pact known as a 1-to-3 agreement alongside a bilateral safeguards agreement. The text of the deals were not immediately made public. However, describing it a peaceful nuclear cooperation agreement, the U.S. Energy Department did say that it will provide great access for American companies in the Saudi nuclear energy program. The Energy Department said the deal now goes to Congress. Unless Congress raises votes to object to the deal within 90 session days, the deal will go into force. But it would need to have a 2/3 majority to override a presidential veto. Saudi Arabia, like Tehran, has long been adamant about its right to pursue a civil nuclear program. Last year, it signed a mutual defense pact with nuclear-armed Pakistan as well. And the US military launched a new round of strikes on Iran at President Donald Trump's direction, marking the 12th successive night of American attacks. The U.S. Central Command said in a statement that the mission will continue to target Iranian military operation centers, drone storage facilities and logistic infrastructure to degrade Tehran's ability to threaten commercial shipping. Several explosions were reported on Wednesday morning in different parts of Iran, including the southern port city of Bushehr and the northwestern city of Tabriz, while Tehran's air defenses were activated following fresh U.S. strikes. Well, President Donald Trump said on Wednesday that Iran is not ready to make a deal. Earlier, Trump renewed his threats to attack Iranian infrastructure on Wednesday, saying the U.S. would attack a bridge or power plant each time Tehran targets a ship in the Strait of Hormuz.
Let me tell you, they're getting hit so hard, and they want to make a deal. But I say they're not ready to make a deal. Because every time they make a deal, they want to change it and everything. They're not ready. They'll be ready very soon.
Well, meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said that Iran would respond in kind to any attack on its infrastructure. Also, Iran's Joint Military Command warned that if Trump's threat against infrastructure was carried out, Iranian forces would target regional oil, gas, electricity and economic infrastructure and prevent the export of oil. Also, Houthi military spokesman Yahya Sari said that the Iran-backed group had targeted 2 Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea with missiles and drones, claiming the vessels had violated a ban imposed by the group. Sari also threatened further attacks against Saudi Arabia, saying the Houthis would continue their naval operations and enforce blockade. And moving on, southern Europe battles raging wildfires as extreme heat fuels flames across Spain, France, Italy and beyond. Data claim wildfires have burnt more land in Europe this year than in the past 2 decades. Firefighters continue battling multiple wildfires across southern and southwestern France after 2 firefighters were killed in Gironde, where their truck was engulfed by flames. More than 44,000 hectares are burnt nationwide this year, well above the seasonal average. Also, wildfires raged across Sicily and Calabria, where temperatures topped to 40 degrees centigrade and strong winds fueled dozens of active fires. More than 6,000 firefighters and emergency personnel have been deployed, supported by water-bombing aircraft. Officials described conditions as serious due to extreme heat and parched vegetation. While the heat wave eased, violent thunderstorms and hail swept across North Macedonia and Kosovo, injuring several people, damaging homes, disrupting power supplies and triggering flood warnings. Forecasters warned that further severe storms could bring lightning, heavy rain and additional damage. And on to some business news now. Oil prices rose to a 6-week high as the US and Iran traded strikes, further threatening energy shipping in the Middle East, while US equities were flat ahead of key big tech earnings. Brent crude prices settled up 3.3% to $94 per barrel, reaching levels not seen since early June. Nearly 5 months of war have depleted global stockpiles and stoked inflation worldwide. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was little changed, while the S&P 500 dipped by 0.1% and the Nasdaq Composite fell 0.57% amid weakness in chip shares. The dollar dipped from a 1-week high on Wednesday after 4 straight daily advances. Interest rate sensitive 2-year U.S. Treasury yields climbed to a 17-month high, while the yield on the U.S. 10-year notes rose 3.26 basis points to 4.66% a day after touching a 2-month high. And out to some sports news now. The Glasgow Commonwealth Games 2026 are set to begin today. The opening ceremony will be held at the Hydro Arena in Glasgow and is scheduled to begin at 10:30 p.m. IST. Around 3,000 athletes from 74 countries will compete across 10 sporting disciplines. In this edition of the Games, India will be making its 19th Commonwealth Games appearance with a 126-member contingent aiming for a strong medal haul. India's campaign begins with the men's and women lawn bowl event. After creating history with a breakthrough medal-winning performance at the 2022 Commonwealth Games, the Indian lawn bowls team returns to Glasgow, hoping to build on that success and add to the country's medal tally. And in cricket, Shreyas Iyer-led India will face Zimbabwe in a 3-match T20 international series, with the opener scheduled to be played in Harare on Thursday. The other 2 matches will be played on the same venue on July 25th and 26th. India and Zimbabwe have faced each other in 14 T20 internationals, with India winning 11 and Zimbabwe 3. Zimbabwe's last victory over India came in July 2024 at Harare by 3 runs. The 2 teams last met in the T20 World Cup early this year, where India registered a 72-run victory in Chennai. Well, India tunes in to celebrate the National Broadcasting Day on July 23rd. From the first crackling broadcast of 1927 to Akashvani's powerful voice reaching 99% of the nation in the present day, radio remains the heartbeat of India, uniting, informing and inspiring millions across generations. DD India's Antara Sinha gets us this report.
India celebrates National Broadcasting Day on July 23rd, commemorating the birth of organized radio broadcasting in the country. The journey began with the first experimental broadcast by the Bombay Radio Club in June 1923. On July 23rd, 1927, the Indian Broadcasting Company was formally established. In 1930, the Indian State Broadcasting Service was launched. On June 8, 1936, it was renamed All India Radio, AIR. In 1956, All India Radio officially adopted the name Akashvani, meaning Voice from the Sky, while continuing to be known as AIR. After independence, the broadcaster expanded rapidly. At present, Akashvani operates through 591 broadcasting stations, covering approximately 92% of India's geographical area and 99.19% of its population. It broadcasts in 23 languages and 182 dialects. From its role in the freedom struggle to post-independence efforts in spreading literacy, health awareness, and agricultural knowledge, radio has been a powerful tool for national integration and development. Key milestones include the launch of Vivid Bharati in 1957, the first FM service in 1977 from Chennai, Prasar Bharati's formation in 1997, and digital advancements such as the 2014 mobile app, YouTube channel, Alexa integration, and AI-based services in 2024. Even in the digital age, radio remains a trusted companion reliable during disasters, inclusive for remote areas, and a bridge for cultural preservation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Mann Ki Baat launched on October 3rd, 2014, and now in its 135th episode, exemplifies radio's enduring power to connect directly with citizens.
Standing before the microphone that once carried a young nation's dreams, we realize broadcasting didn't just inform India, it shaped its very soul. On this National Broadcasting Day, we don't just celebrate technology, we celebrate 1 billion enduring voices of the aspirations of this country. With camera person Srinivas, this is Antara Sinha for DD India.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.